Welcome to the inaugural video of fucking Living World of Dracula's, presented by Ziggy P. Um, we're going to start off this sesh in the north of the province of Aberoin at the city of Temples, city known as Touraine, which has gained a lot of fame recently in this super Christian medieval France for having many, many different cathedrals and religious structures built in a short period of time, mostly thanks to the inordinate amount of wealthy vampires living in the province of Averroes. We're starting off with Duke Philippe Augustus as he enters the city of Touraine from the road along the north. And if you want to describe your dude and who he's rolling with and stuff and how you enter the city, Grog, now's your chance.
Duke Philippe is coming in with a retainer as well as some fighting men, all wearing the motley of the Templar Order. He is riding a horse. He does not look to be overly ostentatious with his wealth, though he does have the purest white lambskin fleece cloak on, as per what the order allows, and he will be coming into the city on horseback, whereas the lowman will be coming afoot. And he's going to be just traveling through the city in order to get to where the prince of this province is located. Okay,
right on. It's getting pretty on in the night at this point. You probably have a couple of hours. And the next town after this one is probably at least a good half a night, or almost a full night's ride away. So you probably have to stay in this city for the night, you're realizing, as you're going down this path. And basically, the road that you're traveling on both sides is just rolling farmland and little patches of peasant hovels. To your west side of the road, there's sprawling onion fields, just hella fucking onions, more onions than you've ever seen. Maybe not more than you've ever seen, because you're a pretty well-traveled dude, but they seem to have planted mostly onions. And on the other side, there's other crops like wheat and whatever, turnips and potatoes, I guess. I don't know if there's potatoes in France, but all kinds of, produce. Every once in a while, you'll see a barn and stuff, and all along the road, there's just a bunch of tree stumps. Up ahead, you can see the city of Touraine. It's got a whole bunch of torches burning, and there's a really large tower dominating the tallest of the buildings, which is a huge cathedral. Since you're a Templar, why don't you go ahead and give me a knowledge religion, or an intelligence religion, I guess, or theology, I mean.
I have theology, okay.
Give it to me at diff 5.
Two, 3, 4, 5. I got 3 successes for that.
Right. Cool. So this is the this is the Cathedral of Saint Jude the Apostle, and it's known for having one of those undying lights at the top of this big tower on it. It's just a huge big burning bonfire that stays lit all the time and has like two dudes tending it at all times. It was built about 60 years ago.
Because I have influence with the church, would it be feasible for me to uh, get lodgings at one of the cathedrals?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's this whole city is pretty much dedicated to the Crusaders at this point. Um, you can see like up ahead around the city, there's a whole bunch of just different camps with different like banners all up in front of tents. Uh, Various like mercenary bands and crusader orders and just little like crusader gangs basically. Some of them are bearing like different badges of the king on their standards. And up ahead in front of you on the road there is a carriage that's containing, I believe, two um, individuals who you would find to be slightly unsavory. But we'll skip over to the interior of the carriage where Evan and Becca can tell you what's going on in there and who's in there.
Leaning back casually in the richly appointed seat, Baron Aisha Debernux looks out over the fields and over the various camps. He's dressed in red plate armor with a red hooded cowl raised over his pale features. In his hand there's a small goblet of red. Now, to the outside world it might not appear to be blood, it could appear to be wine. But he looks out at the world with casual disdain. He has brought with him approximately 20 of his men, who stand around the carriage as he waits to enter the city dressed in his livery. His companion is sitting opposite him, and he will calmly look at her calmly look at her over his glass, looking into the monster's face, unflinching, and simply comment about it is so heinous, these delays, my dear. What will these crusaders do next, I wonder? Maybe they'll clog up all the privies in the city.
And the monster, apart from him, will simply shrug, simply not saying too much.
Can you describe the ruckus? I mean, monster.
The gargoyle in question is a fiendish creature with a great wingspan, powerful rippling rock muscles, and two twisted horns in a proper demonic fashion to scare off the appropriate evil spirits who would do us wrong, of course, or at least so the common folk would care to believe.
All right. So while you're, dispassionately just like looking out the sides of your carriage, Becca, why don't you give me a perception alertness?
Okay, 1 second. Ah, okay. Let me get that started. Okay.
All right, so it looks like you got two successes there. Right
Mhm.
on. So from approaching from behind you, Grog, how many dudes do you have with you again?
I have 40 lowmen and let's see,
How are they? How are they outfitted?
they're outfitted in a scale,
Okay.
common scale mail.
And do they bear your colors? They're like the color of your order.
They're bearing the color of my order, and the flag bearer is also. I've got two flag bearers. One's bearing my royal, or not royal, but my house crest, and the other is bearing the Templar order.
Okay. Yeah, so approaching your carriage from behind, there's like 40 men on foot, all dressed in scale with like the Templar colors, and there's some like apparently noble guy because he's got two like standards that he's flying, and they're approaching the carriage from the rear. Only
Aisha
Becca
will...
notices though.
Okie dokie.
Master, we're not alone.
I take it that once she points them out, I can look to see
Yeah,
what she sees.
like 40 guys.
Aisha will calmly cock an eyebrow, and he will look to Becca, and he'll simply say, I'm... my dear, I'm pretty sure that it would be best if you are not seen.
As you wish, Master. Right. I think I need to take the appropriate roles to conceal myself.
Well, you got obfuscate. You can pretty much just pop that, and unless the humans have aspect, which they don't, they won't be able to see you.
Well, we're doing that then.
All right, so you look away, Evan, and the gargoyle seemingly disappears. Yeah.
Can I ask this chap, this individual in question who's approaching the carriage, aka
Yes.
Grog? Is it known that this individual is a kindred or no? Because he's a high status figure.
It's up to Grug.
I have status 5, so most kindred would know that.
Well,
So
his
it'd be kind of a secret.
status is mortal status.
Oh, status, mortal status? Then no. Well,
Okie dokie.
no, I have the celebrated lineage, but
Okay,
until
so
you know my name.
Evan, do you have heraldry as one of your skills?
I most certainly do not.
Okay, why don't you roll me
I can roll
intelligence?
politics.
Yeah, give me an intelligence politics diff 7.
Uno momento, por favor. I just need to summon up my own character sheet.
Do it.
Do it. Macho Man Randy Savage commands you. Okie dokie, that's that. Get into my own dice stream. Only one success.
Okay, you recognize the Templar thing, but that's it.
Okie dokie. We're simply going to stay in the carriage where we're not going to do anything to impede them and see if they pass by or how they act.
Okay. Pausing it right there, I will shift over to the south to the city of La Frenais, right along the river, where another kindred is arriving for the night, but this time via the westernmost road that leads out of the province. So, Chris, if you want to describe who you're traveling with and all that, you're now about to be entering La Frenais.
So you see a solitary man. He is not just in armor because who the fuck travels on horseback in armor? You only wear that when you're going to fight someone. So he's basically wearing some rather velvet tabard and furs. Unless it's I don't know what time of year it is. If it's the same time of year,
it's like springtime.
Okay, is it still relatively cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's wearing black furs and a tabard, which is the colors of red, black, and gold that have the emblem of a Cerberus on it. He's got a shield over the haunch of his thing and a huge sword, and he's gathered with just a small retinue of a groom, a squire, and so forth with him, who are dressed kind of in the same livery, but not as fancy as his. And he has long black hair and a beard, and this kind of scowling expression on his face, he's has seen it all before.
All right. Give me a second just to add this picture. But hold on. From the road, like leading to the west, this fucking weirdo approaches you and your guys. He doesn't have his sword drawn like in the picture or anything, but he's got like a long saber strapped to his side, and he's wearing like lacquered leathers and maybe like it's got a couple of rings embedded into it. Apparently, he's got rings on his nipples. I didn't notice that, but now it's canon. And he just approaches you and stands just at the edge of the road, staring at you and your men, like probably like 20 yards or so ahead of you. He approached, from the road to the west, so from behind you, kind of, and then sort of scuttled up and overtook you.
All right. Was he like riding on horse or?
No, he's on foot.
All right. Well, I will just ignore this obviously beneath me person.
All right. He starts to like walk. He doesn't get close to you or anything. He stays on the edge of the road, but he starts walking parallel with you and your men, keeping pace with you and looking off to the side. And then he starts to like sniff the air. You're not from around here.
I just look down at him from my horse and I go, "Who are you? Who is addressing me?"
My name is Grack. I'm the king of the onion fields. And he like motions with his shoulder, like a thumb over his shoulder. He's got like long, dirty fingernails, and his hair's all matted and long and like blonde, and he's got a wolfish expression, I guess you would say.
It is good to meet you, Sir Onion.
And who are you?
I am Guy de Lusignan of Alsace.
Ah, well, good to see a new face around here. Not a lot of people travel through my lands here. I control all the farmlands here. It's not glamorous, but it keeps all the blood bags fed.
Well, good job then. I am on my way to the capital to meet the prince.
Ah, meet the prince, eh? He must be real important, huh?
I do not know, but it is only good manners to introduce yourself when coming into a rightful liege's lands.
Oh, yeah, of course. So, did you get invited, or you're just going to go stop by?
Well, I am just traveling through, and perhaps I have heard that he is looking for a kindred of quality to help administer his lands. I heard that there has been a restructuring of sorts lately.
Oh, you don't say. Yeah, we don't get a lot of news out here, in the border province over here. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't even know he was looking for new, whatever you said it was. Seems strange that he wouldn't, inform all the Canaanites of this area before calling from out of town help. Must be something weird.
I do not know. I have not involved myself in the internal politics of this area as of yet.
Right. Well, that's La Frenay, that city over there that you're walking at, and that's basically one of the majorest trading posts. So you'll be embroiled in the politics soon enough. That's why I stay out here on the border. I don't like to deal with those freaks.
Well, I only wish to have a small I only wish to live my life in relative peace after a lifetime of war.
All right then.
I'm done. I do not wish. I've just come from an area that has been embroiled in intrigue, and I do not wish to involve myself in further fights, unless except for to defend this land from the infidel, of course.
Of course, of course. Well, I won't take up any more of your time then. Go on with the blessing of Grack and the onion fields, brother. And he kind of like gives you a little Roman salute.
I will nod, and I will raise my hand, palm out, like I'm raising my visor as they saluted back then.
Mm-hmm. And then
showing proper etiquette, of course.
Right on. He he just basically ducks off into the foliage at the side of the road, and disappears into the night.
Place, and I will head into the city where I am to meet Isio de Morvosin, because I agreed to meet him in this town.
All right. So at that time, we'll switch over to Malvosin, and you're approaching this province. I assume, I don't know why this went really blue, but you're approaching from the south, right? So you're arriving at the city just as Chris is. The city is hustling and bustling. Even now at nighttime, there's men loading and unloading these long, skinny river boats that dudes with big sticks are then pushing down the river, headed south through the forest is where they will be going, and you just kind of see the boats floating along the river until they get to right about where you are on the road, and they float into the forest, and the trees from the forest have kind of grown in an arch, basically, about 10 feet above the river, or so the surface of the water. So they can only stack the crates in these boats so high, and as they enter the forested region where the river runs through the forest, it almost looks like they're going on one of those Disney boat rides, headed off into the darkness where little animatronic creatures will sing them a happy tune. But since it's the world of darkness, that's probably not what's going to happen in there. You can feel free to describe your dude who you're traveling with.
All right, so I would have gotten to this place by means of the Demervosin caravan, and I would have a fake wall, kind of in the back of the caravan. There'd be crates and barrels and stuff, and there'd be this fake wall with very little space for me, but I would be kind of hunched in there. Okay. With a single hole kind of drilled out to the outside and a curtain to protect me from the sun. So right. I see where I'm going, and then once it's closer daytime, draw the heavy curtain and just kind of sleep in this, I guess, coffin-like space. But as soon as we get to this this location I'm in now, and once I hear the workers unload the wagon, I open up this space and step out, knowing full well where I am and knowing that I am to meet Guy de Lusignan here.
All right, so the boys who you brought with you, they start unloading your caravan cart thing, whatever. They're taking their boxes over to their buddies down by the water, and they turn to you and what's your dude's first name again? Acer?
Asier. Asier.
All right, Asier. We will be here as a caravan when you are finished carousing with your friend, and you will find us here, and we will take you back home. Be careful. I heard the city's guards recently took a loss.
Have no worry, my friend. I have a powerful ally. You have no reason to doubt.
Ah, very good, very good. Now get out of here. You are distracting us from our work.
I grin at him and head out, not too far from here, and kind of glance about, waiting for, because I know that the presence of Lu Xingnyang, so I'm kind of eyeing for him and his retinue.
All right, and you're walking along the waterfront, Chris, at this point, and he sees you, or Zig, you see him.
Riding on my destrier.
Well, that's not really a riding horse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm probably on the palfrey then, but the destrier is like tied to like my saddle.
Okay. So yeah, here's a dude. This dude's got 2 horses and a whole bunch of men who are walking.
Oh, it's just like a small nightly company, about 4 or 5 people. So it's basically to take care of my horses and take care of my armor and take care of my gear.
All right. Well, you see your nerd friend.
I will walk up to them and I will like hold my hand up and like just kind of like let myself be known to him standing up on there. I won't dismount or anything yet.
In return, I'll put my one hand on my chest, kind of do like a bow, and extend my free hand outwards, and look up at him with a smile on my face.
I'll smile and dismount and take him and grab him by the wrist in the Roman style. Be like, hello, Sir Goodman Aesir Demoverson. How are you today?
The moon shines sweetly, my friend.
Yes. Have you cleared passageway to the capital or not?
Yes. I can procure one of these wagons. And, if you will, my good friend, an escort.
Oh. Hey, are you expecting trouble on the way? I was accosted by some ruffian in the fields on my way here. It seems such places are in terrible times these days. People just roaming free, addressing their betters like freely in the fields. I do not understand.
Who better to...
Such lack of decorum.
I have heard many things, among which is that, and I'll lean closer to you, that the entire court has been dissolved. So it is very likely that those of our kind are lawless, unled, perhaps needing of a few lessons learned.
Yes, they must be. They must be taught their places.
I'll glance back to the caravan that brought me here. That's probably probably completely unloaded by now into those boats.
Yeah.
And I'll glance up at you. So, my friend, shall we make way? And again, I have to apologize.
Yes.
You know the way at which I travel. I prefer to keep myself compact, so conversation along the way might be minimal. But I guarantee you that we will catch up completely once we arrive at the capital.
Hey, why don't both of you make a perception alert?
All right, perception.
Okay.
Opening day stream. Perception
Yeah,
4,
I gotta look
alertness
what the
1.
fuck my rule is for that.
If the difficulty is 6, I got 3.
Yeah, it's 6.
Sweet.
All right. How about you, Chris?
Okay, it's here. I've got. Let me pull up my dice stream again. Let's see how bad I roll.
Looks pretty good to me.
Not too bad. I got 4 successes, so I'm pretty on the ball tonight.
All right, cool. So Zig, you notice, or you both notice that there is this guy in a red and gold robes, basically, with like a big hangy set of black wooden prayer beads with like a cross on them hanging off the front of his shirt, down by the riverfront, and he's taken something out of like a small little rowboat that there's 2 dudes sitting in, and they both have hoods on, and they like nod at him, and he nods at them, and then he like slips this thing under his robe, and you see that he's like, he noticed you and Chris, and he's like staring at you too as he makes his way up the bank from the river, like up to the paved path where you guys are on. And Chris, with the extra success, you caught a glimpse. He has some sort of like wooden box that's bound with like iron bands and stuff. That's what he tucked under his robe. He's holding it
This
under
guy
his
is
arm.
like just as a friar or like a monk or something.
Something, except that generally they don't wear like such bright colors like red and gold. Fabric is kind of expensive. Gold more than red, but red's not that expensive.
And he's headed towards us.
I will
Yeah, sort of. He's not like making a beeline at you, but he's like staring at you as he's walking up the bank.
like tilt my head to face the air as if do you want to get involved?
I'm eyeing this guy as he's walking, and I tilt my head a little curiously. And as you say that, I kind of lift my right hand in like a half wave in his direction. Monsieur!
He looks kind of taken aback and looks like behind him, over both shoulders, and then starts to walk over to you.
I'll take 2 steps forward and like open both my hands out in front of him, almost like in a welcome. Curious business at the dock, I see.
Oh, yes. Just collecting a parcel.
You
I've not
engaging?
I've not seen you two ever before.
I still with my head tilted. I'll see if I can read his aura to see if he's vampiric.
Okay.
Does he look pale at all?
Yeah.
And is it a cold night? Like, would we be showing like our breath or anything like that, or no?
No, it's spring. It's not that cold. It's still cold though, but not that cold.
All right. So remind me, perception plus
Empathy, I believe.
empathy. Yeah, that's what it was. All right. So I got 3 successes.
All right, sweet. He's like a vampire. And what do you get anything extra with the 3rd success?
His mood.
You get extra colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You basically get his emotions, what he's
Right.
feeling at the moment.
yeah, he's a little nervous and he's very intrigued.
Where did he put the parcel? He just put it like in his
tucked
sleeve or something?
It's tucked up under his arm and he draped like part of his robes over it.
Alright, well I will like walk up and extend my hand to him.
He looks down at your hand and up at you, and I can't give you this
Hey,
box.
No, it's like I'm not extending my hand like give me the box. I'm like, oh hello.
Oh, hello. He shakes your hand then, or grabs your wrist or whatever.
Alright, while he does that, I'm going to try to ledger domain the box away from him.
Okay.
Basically take his pocket.
It'd be really hard.
I'm gonna spend the willpower on this.
All right.
And as he's doing this, I'll engage him in conversation. I'll say to him, there is no need to be so nervous. What name do you
What's
go
the
by?
difficulty on that?
8.
Alright, does my supple joint merit apply to this?
No. No way, Jose. See.
All right. So, oh, look at that! Look at that!
All right. Well, you got 2 successes.
Nice.
3 successes with the willpower.
Right. Okay. So you're able to like get the box away from him, and then like you get it away from him before he can even notice what you're doing, and then he just like feels the absence of the box and looks down at like the floor and grabs like the sides of his robes and pulls them up a little bit to make sure he's not like standing on the box. And it's like, what the hell?
What is the matter, my friend?
My parcel.
What was in it?
Have you dropped it? Do you need some assistance?
Yes, I need that parcel. It's very important to my lord. I'll be flayed alive.
Perhaps we should retrace our steps.
Well, I walked from down there. He points at like the muddy footprints he left to right here, and it's not here, and it's not along my muddy footprints.
He came out of a boat, right? Are you
Yeah.
sure you did not leave it in the boat?
Yes.
I'll go over to check the boat.
All right, I'm gonna have him. Where are you hiding this thing now that you have it?
I'm just gonna put it under my robes,
All right.
using my whatever. I guess it would be stealth to hide it.
No, it'd be legerdemain, but he fucking botched anyway, so he doesn't see that you have it.
All right, badass.
All right, so I'm gonna switch over to the final spot we've got on here on this episode of The Winter Sun. To the Rook, which is the castle where Torin's character is. Basically, after entering the country from, I suppose, the mountains, on your way to the king's or the prince's city for his Elysium, or not Elysium, Court of Elites tomorrow. You've come to basically the last stopping point before the point of no return, right at the edge of the woods. This great castle on the river called the Rook, and the Lord of the Rook has graciously put you up, or agreed to put you up, in one of like the smaller buildings adjacent to the castle for the night. So if you want to describe your dude and who you're traveling with, that would be rad. It would also be super awesome if you unmuted yourself.
Or you could drown in a lake.
Yes. Hey Torin, you there, buddy?
Hey, stop playing League of Legends.
No League of Legends here, guys. Anyway, so Ulrich is approaching in a carriage, which is driven by 2 men. Inside the carriage are 2 more men and a lady. There are a set of black drapes, which are currently open. And he is staring out at the night sky, looking very, very bored.
Can you, are these people all naked so that we just know their genders? Let's have a description of this carriage and these ladies and this man, who you are.
Okay, the 4 men are all in leather armor. The woman is in a dress. She essentially looks like a lesser noble. The 4 men are, for lack of a better term, guards.
How about you?
They each have a short sword at their side.
How about you?
That's... What?
How about you?
He's in uh, black and red set of. He's got a black robe with a red shoulder cape, um, with a couple of golden tassels hanging off of it. Other than that, he has dark hair and blue eyes.
Okay. So your carriage pulls up
Sorry.
to the carriage pulls up to like the stable area of the Rook, and some of the Lord's men like come to take your horses and park your cart for you, basically, and you're given free reign of the grounds, which is basically just like a big tower and several smaller stone buildings all around. You're given basically they clear out smaller servants' quarters for just you and your men and this lady. The area around, it's built right on the bank of the river to the point where the river actually flows through an arch that's in the foundation of the castle. The castle has its foundations built into both banks. That's quite literally the only way to travel along the road without like jumping into the river. Think like Windhelm from Skyrim, and to the north and east, there's the mountains that you just traveled through, and then directly to the south and west, there is a big dark forest of Averoin.
Ulrich will leave the carriage, thank them for their hospitality, and ask where he should go to give his compliments to whatever lord is here, if any are present.
Oh, the hour is late, my lord. I believe the lord's in his chambers.
In that case, I won't disturb him. Thank you very much.
Oh, no trouble at all. Pleasure to have you stay here with us, my lord.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you again for your hospitality. I do apologize for the suddenness of my visit.
It's no trouble at all. Is there anything else you'll be needing?
Well then, no. Some food perhaps for my people, but I think that will be already attended to.
Sure, yes. We have some rabbit, actually, from our own warrens. We're privileged enough to keep one. I'll have it sent to the door straight away. And he just goes back into the castle.
And I'll make my way along with the guards and lady to where we were bidden.
Alright, so it's just a big, rectangular one-story building. It's got several cots for your guardsmen and, a larger 2 beds for you and this lady.
Okay. I'll wave to all
And
of them
heavy,
and say,
green silk, or not silk, sorry, green heavy wool, I guess, curtains over the windows. And there's a bonfire in the center of the room in a fire pit.
For a little while he'll stare at the fire, then turn to his people and say, please make yourselves comfortable as you can be in this situation.
The guards all go and start taking off their armor and boots and stuff and laying their swords up next to the cots and stretching and cracking their backs and sitting on them.
Ulrich will go next to one of the windows, open it, and stare out at the night sky. Well,
okay.
I wonder exactly why everything is becoming suddenly so very interesting.
Make me... Do you have any awareness?
As a matter of fact, I do not. This character is obliviously unaware of everything because he stares at things.
Okay, so make a perception alertness. Diff 7. You're gonna have to turn your camera on too.
Sorry.
It's cool.
Sorry, what was that?
Can you make a perception alertness and turn your camera on?
I don't actually have a camera, so.
Well, your thing where it could show me the picture of your guy so I can see where dice you roll.
Yes.
Thanks.
There, I think that works. Okay. So what do you want me to do?
Okay, tell me how many dice you have for perception and alertness. It's
That
one.
will
All right,
be a
I
grand
got you.
total of 1.
Well, that's pretty fucking crazy because you got the one success. As you're staring listlessly up at the night sky, you notice your eyesight's not that good, but you do notice like a discrepancy that just very blaringly stands out to you because you are so fond of looking off at the sky. Up right near the moon, which is just nearly full, there's a star that you haven't seen ever before, like right directly over the moon, like directly on top of it, in alignment with the moon, and the star is bright red.
Oh. Well, that is interesting. He looks around for a while and says, "Milady, would you care to take a look at this?" To his quote-unquote companion, who, by the way, is mortal.
Okay. She comes over to the window and looks. What is it? What am I
Do
looking
you
at?
see that red star in the night sky?
Oh,
And
yes.
he tries to point it out.
It must be
How very...
an omen from Jesus.
Really? And what do you think it means exactly?
I don't know, Daddy.
Very well. Go, get some sleep. I'm sure we'll need our rest for tomorrow.
Alright. She goes and, like, passes out.
And I have absolutely... Okay. I have absolutely no knowledge in so I have no idea what else I could possibly roll for this, if anything.
Okay.
I have academics too, and that's it.
So. Make me a wits. Actually, how many do you have for wits academics?
Okay, so that's easier. Yeah. So that's an 8, 2 9s, and a 10. I don't know how difficult you wanted this to be.
Yeah, anything rolled.
Might be best if you roll it, Jake.
Okay, well, I need to know how many dice. That's why I was asking. Torin, how many dice do you have for wits and academics?
A total of 6.
Okay. All right, you got 2. From everything you've ever read, like a red star rising is a bad omen.
He'll run his tongue along his teeth and go, things just had to get interesting right when I decide to make my move. Lovely.
All right, so I will switch back
Right now.
over. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
What else? Okay, so Grog.
Nothing else.
Okay, so Grog. You have, you're basically coming up on this carriage now. It's parallel on the road with you. It's like kind of in the way of you and your men.
Well, I call my retainer over that's functioning as my squire and tell him that the driver of the carriage needs to move. As per
Alright.
someone of, my persuasion.
All right, Evan, you can hear the Grog's retainer. He's also on a horse, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you see this guy in a Templar outfit, or at least Templar colors, as well as Grog's colors, come riding up parallel to your drivers, and he starts like angrily pointing over to the side of the road and yelling something.
Knocking a disinterested eyebrow, Aishar is going to look out forward at the road to see who's shouting.
It's that guy I just described.
Very good. He will simply say in a rather blasé voice, "And what is the problem, my good man?"
He looks back at you and says, "Oh, you're blocking the way for the Knights Templar and the personal contingent of Duke Philippe Augustus. I am a German man, but I have a British accent because that's the one that Jake did first."
Well,
Heinrich, I didn't know you had a British accent.
You may inform Duke Philippe Augustus that it's rather unfortunate, but the road itself appears to be blocked. Thus, my carriage moving can only happen when the rest of the people in front of me opt to move.
He scowls at you and turns his horse around and rides back. Says he can't move because he doesn't like my accent discrepancy. No, he doesn't say. He says he can't move because there's people in the road.
Are there people in front of the carriage?
Way far up ahead. Basically to the gates of the city is where they're in line. They didn't just stop. The line's not a quarter mile long, but it is pretty long.
So what you're saying, Squire, is that he refuses to give way to a duke?
It would appear so.
Well, I motion him to ride with me as I go up to the carriage.
All right, and he rides on whatever the opposite side of the carriage you're riding on.
Excuse me, was it Baron? And I'm I'll lift my visor up.
Bon oui, monsieur.
It would do me great honor if you would have your wagon, or not wagon, damn it, I forgot the word now. Carriage move off to the side for me.
Absolument, monsieur. However, the fact of the matter is that if we move forward, we will get caught up in the malaise. I'm merely waiting until the crowd thins so we can enter the city at our leisure, as befits gentlemen of our station. It does not do to go pushing through the crowds, dirtying oneself on their presence. Do you not agree?
How much time do we have till sunrise, Jake? Because we only had like a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, maybe like 3 hours.
Like 3 hours. How long does that line look like it's gonna take?
Like an hour and a half. If they keep it moving.
And if they don't, a lot longer?
Yeah, up to like 4 or 5. Because some of these people have a lot of dudes with them, so it's going to take a long time for them to like bring their whole host through the gates.
Can I roll heraldry to see if I can see anyone of sufficient rank that I can't just kowtow? Can't just intimidate into like letting me through?
Well, they seem to be having dudes come and take inventory of all the people who are coming and leaving, and like what they're bringing in and what they're taking out and stuff. And that's what seems to be taking the longest. It's basically like the medieval TSA, and they're not searching people's butts yet, but they are definitely like jumping up onto carriages and like inspecting the cargo and taking names. And there's only like the one portcullis, Zig.
Dude.
And yeah, it's like attached to the gatehouse or whatever. So there's only one entranceway from this side of the road. Yeah, you're looking at anywhere from an hour and a half to like 5 hours.
I've got a nice carriage to hide from the sun in. Do you?
No, I do not. That's the problem. As much as I agree with you, Baron, and you're not like cold or you don't have any kind of flaws that's going to tell me that you're a vampire.
I've prominent fangs.
Oh. Well then. That changes everything. It would appear, Baron, that this could take up to longer than the sun will be up. Or the sun will be down. And being caught outside would be rather unpleasant.
I understand, monsieur. However, unfortunately, we are in the case of the loving hands of the bureaucracy of our Blessed Mother Church. If we try to push through the gates prematurely, then it will ruffle a lot of very pompadooned feathers. So, it seems to me you have two choices. You can enjoy my company and hospitality here and guarantee yourself safety for the morning, or you can attempt to push through that malaise ahead of time and offend everyone from Guy de Chauliac all the way down to the lowliest knight-errant from God knows where and God knows who cares.
This is most distressing, as I have much that I must do before the night is over. But I will take you up on your offer of hospitality by your good grace.
Would you care to step inside, then, monsieur? He'll open the door of the carriage.
I'm going to take off my helmet, step off my horse, tell my squire to keep hold of the horse and to follow behind the carriage as we go.
Can I ask, has your character reacted to Becca's presence in the slightest, aka do you have Auspex 2 or 3?
No, but my retainer might.
Hold on. As you enter the carriage like creaks and groans and stuff, and there's like one of those. I forget what you're supposed to roll. What's the roll when obfuscate might break?
It's perception, awareness, v stealth,
Wit and stealth.
Is it wits and stealth? I thought it was dex
Wit-
and stealth.
It's wits and stealth if you're gonna get
Yeah,
noticed.
it's definitely wits.
Basically thinking on your feet.
Okay, so roll. You roll your perception awareness, Grog, and Becca, please roll wits stealth.
All right, 1 second.
Does my retainer also need to roll?
Let me check
Since
if
he
he's
has
got.
Auspex and I don't have it.
Let me check.
Well, according to you, you don't have obfuscate, so you don't see crap. Or you don't
Yeah.
have allspec, so you don't.
I don't have
your
Auspex, but my retainer
Your
does.
retainer might see through it.
Becca got 1. How about you, Grog?
Uh,
All right, Jake. Good game for me. I gotta get some sleep.
Alright, later, peace.
Of course, he gets the 10.
the retainer will have 5.
Wait, hang
Or
on.
buys
How did you get 4 on your dice to pop?
Specialty, perception, sharp eyes.
Oh yeah, but his ghoul does totally have Auspex too.
Okay. There's a giant freaking monster sitting on the other side of the room.
Yeah, and
On
it
the
looks
side
like
of
a
the carriage.
demon. Like it's specifically crafted to look like a demon from hell. Hey Grog, since you're a Bruja, roll for frenzy.
I don't see
He
anything,
can't-
but
He can't perceive it.
I
yeah,
thought
I
she,
can't see it.
if she fucked up the roll, she got 1 success versus his however many successes. Her obfuscate
No.
breaks.
It's his retainer, and it breaks for his retainer.
No,
If you don't have
Grog, hey,
obfuscate,
listen to me. He rolled
Mhm.
his whatever the thing he just rolled, his perception and awareness. He got many, many more successes than her 1 success. As he was getting
mine is
into
a
the
lot less
carriage,
than that, Jake, but I don't have Auspex.
you don't need Auspex when it might break.
Ah.
She could bump into you. She's a big-ass gargoyle. You're getting into a carriage, and you're wearing armor and tilting the whole fucking thing to the side, and you get inside.
I'm only wearing chain at the moment, though. I'm not wearing the full knight.
You're a big-ass dude.
Okay. Well, let me roll my thing then. Oh, well. Dirt.
Saying.
I got 3 successes.
So, yes, obfuscate breaks. See this big demon thing? You are a crusading Bruja. Roll for frenzy.
I don't want to have to kill Grog in the first session of game.
I mean, you're trapped in a carriage with a fucking frenzy Bruja. I don't know
Yes,
if
enjoy
that's
our
exactly what's going
hospitality.
on.
Rah, 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 rah.
Would this go against my code of honor to attack?
A demon? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I didn't think so. What's
I'm
the
fine.
difficulty?
Like really hard.
Like 8 hard?
Yeah, like 8.
Well, what do you know?
Dude.
All right. You
Go
don't.
Team Bruja.
You don't absolutely lose your shit.
But I am pulling out a very large knife at the moment. Excuse me, Baron, but there seems to be a very large demon. If you would prefer to get out of the carriage, I will deal with this momentarily.
The Baron will calmly shrug and go, I wouldn't break one of the prince's traditions right after he was so finicky about setting that.
Oh my fucking god, boys! There's a demon in that fucking carriage! Says the retainer from outside.
God damn it, retainer. It's okay. It's okay. They all know vampires are real.
God wills it! And 39 men come running down the road behind you guys.
And the one like slow guy is like, what? I have 40 total plus the retainer.
Yeah, the one slow guy like sprained his ankle. He's faking a bellyache. But yes,
Well,
these men are now rushing up along the carriage.
I assume that as soon as they move, my own men will move to protect me.
Yeah, sure. How many men did you say you had with you?
40.
Okay. So, yes. Your 2 men are about to clash.
I just like get out and I like just hold my hand up, like as a battlefield order to stop, just fist up, like just shaking my head.
Oh, you're right. Call the church. Someone get a priest. Demons.
You shut it. Heinrich of the English accent.
Best name ever.
This is now his name, Heinrich of the English accent.
All right. But yeah, people from ahead of you have like turned to look, and some of them are like muttering to each other, and it seems like a game of telephones going on.
Now you are going to go fix this with God wills that they allow the Templars to pass through quickly.
He like salutes and rides off. Don't worry, my lord. I'll bring help.
No, no, no. God, God save me from morons.
All right.
God save me.
Switching back over to the guys stealing boxes by the river. Chris, this guy has just basically very you basically convinced him that it's his fucking fault that he lost the box and that he owes you one for helping him search, even though it was for naught.
Yeah. I go there and I search the boat and I look along the path.
Oh, I heard tales of the waterfront ruffians, but I didn't know they were so skilled.
Perhaps. Oh no, you have been robbed, my good sir. This is an affront to your honor. I would not rest until you find the poor the rapscallions, the people who would do such a thing to you.
You're right. I'm going back. I'm gonna get my dad's gun and I'm gonna bring it to school tomorrow. And then he like takes off down the path.
All right. At this point, I'm going to like try to find some lodging, I guess, for the day.
Okay.
I imagine that like probably Acer has like a huge caravan here that they could like shove me in a box somewhere.
They have they have his little compartment in the caravan. You're gonna have to ride on top, but they do have a place set up for the two of you for the night. And the caravan, they shove Acer into his little coffin box, and you ride on the top of the caravan with these like dirty, missing teeth gypsies. And they take you to you and your men to like a large encampment with like big giant tents, and they give you your own like 10-man tent for you and your men.
I mean, like I would, but
Huh?
I'd probably just follow on my own horse, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Fine, you can follow on your horse.
All right, and I would just sit there. I will set up the camp and have my squire and my valet like set up things to my thing while I examine this parcel.
Okay. It's a metal box. I'm sorry, it was a wooden box with like metal clasps and metal bindings all over it.
Is it locked?
Yes, and it has like scrimshaw-ish etchings, like just scratched into the wood and then painted with silver paint. Just like all kinds of strange pagan symbols all over this box.
I will cross myself seeing, I don't know. I'm going to roll Hearth Wisdom to see if I know what the fuck this shit's about.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
That's cool with me.
Hearth Wisdom and what?
Intelligence, I guess.
Alright, a success.
It looks like one of those boxes meant to like stay magically closed. It's probably got a demon inside it or something.
Alright, then I will just like shove it in one of my someplace that's safe, and then I guess since Ziggy's not here, just spend the day there.
All right.
Actually, if he was here, I would have him roll aspects to maybe do a spirit's touch on him or something. But
I have his character sheet. I can roll that real quick.
yeah, I just have him do a an aspects, get an impression of what's the thing's for.
Sure. Hold on one sec. Let me find
Using his dirty Jippo magic.
But hey, Evan, what was that roll?
This roll, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. This roll is for the lie I'm about to shout out of the carriage door when we get back.
Man, you can't pre-roll lies. Fucking cheater.
Yeah. I wasn't pre-rolling it. I was gonna tell the lie, but then you switched before I got a chance to speak.
All right. All right. Nice. Oh, yep, that box is magic as hell, man. You heard, Chris?
I will I will look at it and I will make a some sort of symbol to ward off evil using my hearth wisdom, such as it is. And well, we must. It is good that we are in control of this, and not some ne'er-do-well prince or local despot. Town anyway.
What?
Do I know who's in charge of that town? Like who the guy was going to see? Or not?
You don't know who's in charge of this town. Last you heard, there was no kindred lord of the town.
Then I guess I have no idea who that guy was or who he was going to see.
Yes.
But that's fine. I'm just gonna tuck the box away for someplace safe, because I don't know what the fuck it does, and go out and drill my squire until morning in the art of fencing.
All right. Anyway, we'll cut back to Evan, who's shouting a lie out of the window of his carriage.
He'll actually step out of the carriage and raise his hands and say, in a loud and commanding tone, ladies and gentlemen, calm down. There's nothing to see here. Our friend here has clearly had slightly too much to drink. Everybody knows that you cannot have a demon in the holy light of Saint Jude, who stands on high, keeping her... Is Jude a male or female?
He's a man.
Keeping his everlasting vigil in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Can I add to his lie?
If you want to.
Bonus successes?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try that.
Yeah, go ahead and try it.
I'll spend a willpower.
Yeah, alright. By the way, Grog, it's not been explained to you. There's still a demon sitting in this carriage, just kind of staring at you.
I know. We're getting to that. First putting down the peasant possible uprising, then dealing. So that's 5 more successes.
Yeah, alright, whatever. People just kind of stare at you and murmur amongst themselves. And right before we end tonight's sesh, coming out of the gates, everyone parts ways. Comes a procession of knights on horseback, wearing red and white checkerboard patterns, and rising above the flaming tower on the Cathedral of St. Jude, just above the moon, you can see on high a bright glowing red star.